terms of growth and development and evolution of your studio, I'm going to hit this one at George Cook from F45 Blackwall. What do you feel is a realistic growth rate for your studio?
So it will obviously change depending on what part of the journey you are, in terms of whether or not you've just opened or reopened after a lockdown, or if you're kind of well into like a year one of being open and kind of running through. But essentially our journey was, we targeted to have 50 foundation memberships join the gym as the doors were open. So the offer for them was they basically almost got the first week for free, and then their membership was going to start rolling month to month. And they also were given some kind of free boot camps as we were leading up to opening. So that was our target. We were ahead of that. So we were about 75 signed up members when we opened. And then we had a kind of plan, which was we turned on free trials. So there's a fine balance between, you want the workouts to be nice and busy, because obviously that's what the atmosphere is all about. But at the same time, you don't want to grow too quickly. Businesses that will grow too quickly come up more trouble than businesses that do it properly. So I would say a big bit of advice is be really close to how classes feel. Be in the studio, so when you know if it's feeling a bit quiet, so you can slowly build your membership at a point that works with whatever cash flow models and things like that you've got in place. But our plan was to open with 50, we opened with 75, and then it was to grow steadily at 25. So 25 members a month. And we were exceeding that for the first kind of 3 or 4 months at about 35. So that was kind of what we were finding ourselves doing. In London, there's a feel that there's a lot of people renting where they live. Therefore, there's a lot of change in terms of they move around a little bit more than maybe other places. And also we've been in and out of lockdown. So there's been lots of circumstances changes. So it's almost like I couldn't give, like my model was just like this. Whereas it's been, obviously we've gone into lockdown, and then some months we've reopened and we've grown at like new members of 55 in one particular month. So it's very hard to give that number, but I know that everyone on this call likes the reassurance that they can like feel this cash flow coming through. If you've got 12 months of open ahead of us, which hopefully the world is reopening and that's what we're going to have, I would always find out what your number needs to be and make sure that it's a realistic number. So if you can live and survive your studio on growing at 25, you will achieve that if you go through the process that you need to. We've always done ahead of plan, which is obviously always a nice place to be when we're talking to our banks and loans, saying we're gaining an extra 50 members a month ahead of plan and things like that. So hopefully that helps. Our best months we've signed, like I say, over a lot more than our target of 25, but on an average of a steady month, it's a kind of 35 a month that we're growing at. We obviously have a drop off in London, and it's been very inconsistent on that because we've been open and closed in such short periods. So I wouldn't say that's almost a relevant number to share, but it's more because people have moved. The main thing that we look at in our studio is, why have people left? And I can sit here now confidently saying no one has left to move to competition. They've all moved through circumstances around jobs and leaving home, which is, at the end of the day, you can only control what you can control. But then what I would say about memberships, you can turn on and off the free trials if you need to. For example, if you offer free trials to your mailing list, you're going to get lots of clicks and lots of people come through the gym. And that's might be what you want to create, is a bit of energy. Our conversion on trialists was obviously a lot lower on free trials versus paid trials. I think if I went again, I would try and be as confident as possible just to do paid trials, because we went 18 paid trials in a row where they converted. We were trying to hit 20 in a row. So 18 of the first people that came through, they were buying a membership, which is obviously mega. On a free trial, you know when they come through, they book in for 7 days in a row and you never see them again, and they don't answer any of your WhatsApps, however funny that my memes might be to them. But what we did find is what it was doing at the time is it was filling classes, which is also very important for the vibe. And when you're in a room of a new studio, no one really knows who's paying and who's not. So you can create quite a big buzz through a free room. And at the end of a Hollywood, if you say you've got 5 foundation members left, you're going to be stood outside selling them, you will naturally get a bit of a buying kind of need as well. So play with it and just be as close to those numbers as possible. Since we've gone through the reopenings, we've only ever done paid trials, and our conversion ratio, like I say, at one point we were tracking at 100%, which is nuts, but they are literally over 50% of every paid trial at the moment is converted. And you go through waves, like just trust the processes, like you tell your members with the gains that they're trying to achieve in the gym. Trust the process. Some weeks I'm like, we need to get some sticking, and then all of a sudden we get 5 or 6 off the bounce. We've had people on one day of their 14-day trial ask to buy the membership. And I'm like, make it harder for me. Like, I'm like, that's my job here. They maybe work for it. And literally they're signing up already in one session. So everyone's a bit different. But like I say, the comfort that you guys want for when you can sleep at night, when you're working out all your numbers, is make it work on 25 to 35 and you'll be good to go.
Just on that as well, guys, so you've got now 5 45-day challenges a year, and I'm sure the guys will agree with me that that's a really good time to drive sales. It's one of our best acquisition tools that we have, really great for marketing. So the 45-day challenge, 5 times a year. I think we plan our whole year, guys, don't we, around the challenge. Each time one happens, we're ready to market the next, and it's just a really epic acquisition tool, team. Thank you.